far in the running back room?
Good competition. Good competition. I think guys are pushing each other. Have a lot of different body types in the room, and some guys are showing some leadership skills. And Maurice Turner and Don Chaney, some of my more experienced guys. So it's been good to see them helping out the young guys, Isaac Brown and Duke Watson and those guys, and so just growing every day.
How deep would you say the running back room is, depth-wise?
I think we're pretty deep. I mean, I got a guy out right now, just kind of nursing some things. He'll be back soon, and Keywan Brown, but I feel good about it. I think that we've got various skill sets in the room. We've got a lot of different types of tools in the toolbox, which I think is critical for the season. I mean, it's a rugged position, so you need multiple guys, and I feel really good about the depth as these young guys continue to improve.
Chris, how different is Maurice from when you got here before last season until now, and what's kind of his progression been like?
It's been good. I mean, he had two really good players to learn from last year in Jawar Jordan and Isaac Rindo. Both moved on to the NFL. Those guys were close, and they challenged him in a lot of ways. And I've challenged him in the offseason. And I told those guys I always, when I'm away from them in the summer, I do my own research on them. I do my own homework on them. I write down one thing that they do well, one thing that they struggle with, and one area they need to improve in. And so one of the things that I highlighted with him was pass protection, and he's really been a lot better. His hand placement is better. He's much more calm and poised before contact. And so he's doing a much better job in that regard, and definitely making some big plays. Had another big one today, so that's good to see.
Isaac seems like he's got special kind of a speed gear to him. How's he impressed you thus far?
He's an X factor. He's one of those guys that, like you said, his speed is different. He will remind you of, I guess, a Giles or an Isaac Rindo, where if he is out, someone's out of gap, I mean, that has the potential to go to the house from anywhere on the field. I mean, he's got some real giddy up. Now, it's not stride length, it's not what Giles was. It's more revolutions, but it's getting downfield quickly, and he sees it really well. I think is what I've been impressed with is he's one of those kids that he's never really rattled. You know what I mean? Like, there's never a moment that seems too big for him. So he embraces those high pressure moments, and he's been productive in this so far. And so it's been good to see him grow every day. I mean, I just feel like he's like a chia pet. I'm just seeing him grow every day. He comes out here tomorrow, he'll be 6 foot. And the day after, he'll be 6'2". It's just beautiful to watch him.
And what about Don? He seems like physical. He's different than what you have with some of the other guys.
Thumper. And I think early on I had the same issue with Isaac Rindo last year. He was with Giles and Mo, and he was unsure of who he was. So he was doing a lot of dancing and things like that, and on the ground a lot. And I told him, just like I told Don, I said, man, for you to be a 220+ pound running back, you're on the ground sometimes, man. Like, I'm not understanding that. I need more mass and contact balance from you. I need more physicality. And so I thought he started to really get comfortable in his skin. You saw some very physical runs in there. Really lowering his shoulder and being comfortable in who he is. So, I think if we can get that from him, I think I got a lot of different tools in the toolbox at my disposal.
You mentioned in the spring how you thought that Keywan Brown had the best spring ball out of all the running backs. How has he looked through the early goings of fall camp so far?
I mean, he's trying to get back on the field. He's had some things going on that he's trying to deal with. So we haven't really seen a ton of him yet. But I think he's chomping at the bit to get back, and we'll be excited when he does get back in.
The injury?
Yes. Yeah, he'll be back.
Okay.
Nerves or something.
You had two really, Jeff has said a number of times, you're the only school in the country that had two running backs drafted. That's a lot of productivity. That's a lot of talent to replace. How do you go about doing that?
Well, first of all, I do have to correct that statement. I had to do my homework and my research. I have to give credit to my good buddy Tashard Choice in Texas. He also had two running backs drafted in this past draft, so we were the only two schools. But it's a great question. Everyone assumes there's going to be a natural drop-off, and that's where I challenge these guys that it's time to now step up and assert yourselves. I mean, because if we rewind back just 365 days ago, I don't know if many of the national publications were talking about Jawar Jordan and Isaac Rindo as being national guys that could be possible draft picks and things like that. It's about what they did in the body of work during the season. So they had to go out and earn it. And so one of the first things I did the first day of training camp was I went in the room, and on my chart on the board I have each of their names. I drew a question mark all the way down the board. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Because from the outside in, we must not have anybody in the room. because they all graduated away. So we just have lint and moth flies in here. There's no one even in the room. So you all have to prove yourselves. You should embrace it. And for me as a coach, I embrace it as well, because there's a lot of people that think, oh, he had 2 guys get drafted last year, he hit the lottery. That's just, it doesn't happen much. He just got lucky. So I've got to prove myself, and when I'm embrace those things. I like to challenge myself. How can I elevate these guys? They may not be the top end players, but we're gonna find a way to be productive and elevate our play to where, yeah, we'll make some defensive spirits as well.
One of the things you said you admired about Maurice is he had 2 big backs in front of him. He brought in some more backs, but he's kept the same attitude throughout. Let's talk about that a little bit.
I mean, he's just a kid that he just is always trying to find ways to improve. I mean, he's always asking questions. He and Don stayed after our position meeting yesterday and worked with one of the young guys. I mean, he's invested, and he's always trying to find ways to make himself more complete. And those type of kids, it's easy to coach those guys. You know what I mean? They're not itinerary guys. They want to do more. They want to know the why, and they want to do all the little things. And so just to see his game continue to evolve, I'm excited about where he's headed. And we just talked. One of the things I told him that we need to see from him that I thought Isaac and Giles did a really good job of last year is he needs more explosive plays. We need more big plays, 50-plus yard plays. All right, because the 40-yard play, that's fine, but we need to be able to take momentum and take the air out of the stadium on the road and really ignite the crowd at home. You know what I mean? And those big plays are what's going to get it done, and that's what we take pride in. That it's zone 6, we call ourselves. We take pride in getting in the end zone because that really demoralizes the defense.
Chris, when you look at this coaching staff, and you guys have, for the most part, been together for a long time, why do you think you're able to keep the coaching staff together, and how much does that help, that continuity help going into year 2?
I mean, I think it's critical. I mean, chemistry is big. I mean, anytime you can have a lot of people returning either on the field or as a staff, I think it helps everyone. We all speak the same language. I mean, I've been around Coach Brown and Brian and these guys for a while now. You know what I mean? It's almost like I can understand what he's wanting to do before he even says it out of his mouth. So when it comes to putting in new plays, I have an idea of what he wants to get done. As a play caller. So those things, those little nuances, I think will help us start faster, as opposed to trying to work the kinks out early in the season. Just because we can explain things to our players so that we can go out with clear consciences and go out and play the game and execute at a high level. So the chemistry thing is critical, for sure.
Chris, you got pretty emotional last year at this time talking about being here and being back home. Is it still special year 2?
It always is. It always is. It doesn't get old. It doesn't get old. I mean, it's anytime I wake up and hop on Waterson Expressway and just all the nostalgia of driving that same route to Mill High School back in the day, and driving past all those landmarks and things, and pulling up to this stadium and this facility. I mean, it's always. I'm blessed to be in this position, and to work with this staff, to represent this city that's been so instrumental in my upbringing and my foundation. There's a sense of pride that I have to bring it every day to make sure that my unit represents this city the way it needs to be represented, which is with excellence. And so I felt like we did a really good job with that last year, but we've got a whole new crew, and we're largely improving, and we're very well aware of that, but our stomachs are growling, and we want to improve, and I'm the same way. And so we take the field every day with an attitude to push each other. I'm learning from my players just like they're learning from me, and we're just trying to get a little bit better every day. That's the goal.
All right, Coach. Thank you.